What's a quote-unquote fact about sex that's actually a myth? Not safe for work.
Doctor here. One time a 17-year-old female patient and her 16-year-old boyfriend came in for consultation, because she had been feeling really nauseous lately. I asked her if there was any way she could be pregnant. She confidently replied,
No.
I asked if they weren't sexually active or if they were using a birth control method. She said,
No, but we have sex standing up, which makes pregnancy impossible.
Needless to say, she walked out with a prescription for folic acid and iron supplements.
But, ma gravity.
Lol.
Are you implying that she thought gravity pulls down the cum? And to think these people get to vote in a year or so?
I definitely knew someone who thought this, at least according to someone who hooked up with her. She tried to tell him they didn't need a condom, because she was on top and gravity would do the work. He says he had the good sense to put one on anyway. Needless to say, she was pregnant within the year.
I was always told that a woman's vagina would stretch more and more every time they had sex, and no one wants someone that has a loose vagina. It stretches but it goes back to normal.
Novel idea. The vagina is a muscle.
This part is weird. Women deemed quote-unquote promiscuous, who have had sex over 1,000 times are used up, whereas a married woman who has sex 1,000 times is generally not. What is it about different men that stretches? And it rarely incorporates giving birth, which can actually change anatomy. It seems to exclusively be having the wrong kind of sex.
I was told in high school by my best friend, that different sized penises would each stretch a different part of your vagina, and the same one would only stretch out the one part, so you didn't get loose, kind of like memory foam.
It's crazy, almost like vaginas evolved to be tight around a penis to make it come, stretch to fit a baby's head, and then go back to being tight to repeat the process, but that makes too much sense, so I think it's wrong.
The whole, lick her with ABC shapes, on the clitoris stuff, girls like different stuff, and in my experience, it's about varying pressure, as opposed to shapes done with the tip of your tongue. The flat works best, the tip is like poking yourself in the eye. Some girls do like that though.
Can confirm, girls like it when I alternate with Cyrillic and Hiragana.
Try Arabic, if ABC doesn't work for you. Recently I also had huge success with derivating Maxwell's equations.
Does it matter if it goes right to left? I feel like that'll just confuse the clit.
I'm not supposed to tell you this, but most people who claim to have sex with your mom, have not actually had sex with your mom.
Now I feel bad for my mom. I'd been having visions of her happily bouncing around town. I should send her a card. Dearest mother, sorry you're not a whore. Sincerely, your son.
I love the fact you would assume me mum having lots of sex would make her a whore, also implies that the idea of her having lots of sex is in some way a bad thing. Me mum was a hippie in the 60s, I know she got loads of stick, and the idea of that makes me so happy. Then again, I'm from Britain, which is no way as prudish as America, so I can understand the comment a bit better.
Pressure and speed doesn't always get her there faster. In fact, overstimulation will probably make it more difficult to reach.
Being gentle is going to get you so much further, especially in the beginning. Pressure can build in time.
You don't always have to her hard, in fact, sometimes it's not right to do.
Sometimes you got to make some love, and give her some smooches too.
That a man will be scanning a woman's body for every fat roll, stretch mark, stray body hair, or other imperfection once she is naked, and he will jump out of bed and run away in horror seeing any of these things. Most men really don't go into such detail when getting naked and frisky. You don't need to look like a porn star or a Hollywood body double for them to think you are plenty hot and sexy.
If a man has already gone far enough with a woman, that sex is imminent, he sure isn't going to bail on 99% of the pleasure that awaits him, because of some insignificant 1% flaw. What? You didn't shave your legs less than 3 hours ago. I'm out. Said, no man ever.
Like Cat Williams said,
You was big and got small, or you was small and got big. Either way we fucking, either way.
I don't think it's so much the, will jump out of bed and run away in horror, so much as, the idea that men won't stay after and ghost them.
That's exactly it, or try to use imperfections as leverage to lay the seeds of insecurity. Body positivity is great and all, but, especially in my early 20s, I had sex with several guys that tried to make me feel like shit to be more supplicant.
The idea that having sex with a virgin girl is a special and amazing experience, quite the opposite in my experience.
I think the thrill is supposed to be that you're going into undiscovered territory.
I think it's the idea that you're the first and only. A lot of men have fragile sexual egos, and the idea of putting their penis where another penis has been is literally horrifying.
Fellas, is it gay to have sex with a woman? I mean, you were basically someone that had a penis inside them.
Not just that, you're someone who has a penis inside them right at that moment.
You can't get pregnant your first time. Yes you can.
Wait, who would ever believe that?
Sheltered teens.
I'm shocked by the amount of patients who believe pulling out is foolproof against pregnancy. Sure, it's better than nothing, but about 1 in 5 people who only use withdrawal will fall pregnant, and there is no protection against STDs. Withdrawal is best combined with another contraception like condoms.
My hubby and I can confirm, second kid was a pull and pray kid.
Blue waffle is not real. Didn't figure that out till I was 20.
I have never looked it up, nor have I been forcibly shown. I'm 18 and still ignorant to the appearance of a blue waffle, other than it's really gross.
Basically everything relating to the concept of virginity for women. That sex is supposed to hurt the first time. It's not. If sex is painful the first time, it either means you're not properly lubricated and relaxed, generally not enough foreplay, or there's another underlying medical condition going on. That you're supposed to bleed the first time. The vagina and hymen are stretchy and it shouldn't be common to experience bleeding the first time. Conversely, if a woman's hymen is torn, it doesn't mean she's not a virgin. I didn't have any tearing until after childbirth. A friend of mine tore hers doing the splits on a trampoline. A torn hymen is not an indicator of sexual activity.
The first time I had sex, it was slightly uncomfortable, but not painful at all, and I didn't bleed either, but I was prepared to be in pain for days and to bleed the equivalent of a full-blown period after having sex.
I actually did bleed, but it was a tiny amount and cleared up within a few minutes, and the pain? Just a tiny pinch.
I knew a lot of horse girls when we were all at the age of sexual discovery and were all talking about it with each other. Regular horse riding breaks many hymens.
Hence the Game of Thrones line, most highborn ladies lose their maidenhead to the saddle, well before their wedding night.
The old
big pussy means she's been with tons of guys
shtick, that's just called arousal. I heard my favorite version of this in a bar, overheard a couple guys talking about this, and one was like,
everyone thinks pussies just stay turned out forever, but they just close back up afterwards. The way you really tell is if she has a thigh gap.
What? Yeah, it was really dumb. For the first second I was thinking, oh, it's cool to finally hear someone debunk that idiotic belief. And then he followed it up with an even dumber one, and was adamant about it.
That vaginas get looser the more often their owners have sex. If you think about it for 2 seconds, it should be obvious it's not true, yet the myth persists.
I never thought of myself as a vagina owner before, but here we are. Now who do I talk to about an extended warranty?
Ensure that badge. Make sure to purchase collision and uninsured coverage. Don't worry about theft. Progressive offers a safe discount if you don't contract an STD for a year.
By that same logic, thin penises would also become worn down like a stick of chalk the more you use it. I notice this seems to escape the geniuses at r/bra incels though.
No one's mentioned squirting yet? Alright, very few women are actually physically capable of squirting. It is also not the equivalent of jizz for a female. It's water and a little bit of pee, but in most pornos it's just pee.
I think it's also important to note that squirting and orgasming are not the same thing. They're two separate things that can occur at the same time, but also may not occur at the same time.
Usually when I try to explain this to people, they get weirdly offended. Sorry to ruin your diet water sports kink, Gem.
Myth number 1. If you pee after sex, you won't get pregnant, because you'll be flushing the sperm out. Myth number 2. Because myth 1 is untrue, there's no reason to pee after sex. Actual truth, urinating after sex does not decrease your chances of pregnancy, because the urethra and the vagina are separate, but it's still good to urinate after sex to flush out anything else that may have entered the urethra while you mashed your bits together, as it will prevent urinary tract infections.
That pleasing a female partner is difficult or mysterious, just freaking talk to her, you emotionally constipated potatoes.
I asked for directions for years, before someone finally told me where I needed to be going. This is how that conversation normally goes. Is this working for you? Is there something you'd like me to do?
What you're doing is fine, you're really good.
Are you sure? You don't seem to be enjoying it that much?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's soul destroying.
Yeah, the fact that so many women have been conditioned to basically accept whatever from their partner is horrible. Good on you for persisting.
My wife was definitely like that. When I first met her, scared of hurting my feelings and didn't think that her pleasure was something important, it really put her out of her comfort zone to ask for what she wanted.
I don't know if it's just me, or all of my partners so far being terrible at it, or if it's completely overrated, but blowjobs just don't do anything for me.
I've heard that men use this line to get blowjobs.
Not all women want sex to last a long time. If you go longer than 10 minutes, I'm going to get bored. Also, it's true that most women need direct clitoral stimulation to come, but not all women. Some women prefer penetration. I'm one of them. I don't blame men for going to the clit first because that's what most women need. However, once I tell you to leave it alone because it just distracts from vaginal and vaginal is better, listen to me.
That is funny because I am the opposite. Once you are playing with my clit, please don't penetrate me with your fingers or because I'm really enjoying what you were doing and now I'm distracted, haha.
While I can't speak for everyone on the getting end of a blow job, but I really hate when you ram my head down. I know it looked cool in that porn, but I do not want to be I do not want to be gagging. I enjoy breathing. Now let me do my thing.
Your comment illustrates a really big myth about sex, that the secret to amazing sex is communication. Really great communication will make sex better, but it can only take two people so far. To get to mind-blowing territory, communication needs to be good and kinks need to be complementary. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and ring the notification bell.